Every year, I don't know if I'm gonna do a top 10 favorite songs this time. But then, every year, I find myself obsessed with a new handful of performances from Project Sekai, and the cycle continues forever. I won't waste too much time with an intro here, so let's quickly run down all the important stuff to know. First up, I'm not repeating any songs I've already listed in a top 10. This is the 5th video like this I've done, so don't be afraid to check out my others if your favorite song isn't on this list. Secondly, I'm going in order group to group based on my overall enthusiasm of their 10 songs, basically going from my least favorite top 10 to my most favorite top 10. And finally, this is just my opinion. I make these videos because I like this game a whole lot and enjoy sharing my interests with all of you guys. So let me know what your favorite songs are in the comments. That way we can all have fun talking about a game we like. Coming up first, I'm going to be talking about Nightcord 25, which might be surprising for those of you who have been following along my top 10 journey across the years. Nightcord has very consistently lingered in my top spots, so to see them appear at the bottom of my enthusiasm levels is certainly a change-up. But don't consider this to mean Nightcord flopped this year, but rather, this should be a testament to how much I like all the songs I'm talking about today. So let's start counting down already. Number 10, Cell Phone Love Story. This is one of the first songs made for the game, and it just feels so much like a relic of those early stages of Project Sekai. You can barely hear Miku, the MV is minimal, it has such a quaint air to it despite the power Mafu Mafu songwriting often brings to the table. Despite its humble beginnings, you can see how so much of Nightcord's sound identity, especially surrounding Enna and Mizuki, was built on this foundation. I think Enna especially deserves a shout out for her big note near the end of the chorus. And I really like how the instrumentation in the verses feels like typing on a phone, without verbatim being a keyboard sound font. Number 9, That Summer Saturates. We're jumping way into the future with Kanzaki Iori's That Summer Saturates. As usual, the performances across the board rule, especially Mafuyu. Tanabe Rui does an amazing job with Mafuyu's emotional moments, like the opening line. But the thing that really grabbed me with this song was the narrative. I fully implore you to look up the lyrics to read along as you listen to this one. The story that plays out is impactful and echoes Mafuyu and Kanade's own stories so impressively for being a cover. It is a bit of a shame we get so little of That Summer Saturates, as it's originally really long. There's clearly a lot of the story we miss out on, and I know in my heart that an official MV would probably not do the full narrative justice, but this little window we get with Kanade and Mafuyu joining the Kagamines is excellent, and I can still appreciate the appetizer that it is. Number 8. Meru. When I was putting this list together, I was surprised that Meru hasn't been on one of these lists yet. I like Nobuna so much, and Meru has all the things about his music I enjoy the most. A strong drum beat and kick-ass guitar work. It's so somber yet powerful all at once. It really feels impossible to pause in the middle of Meru. You must commit yourself to listening to it all the way through once you start. I think the thing that's tricked me out of getting it into a top 10 list before this is the MV. It's fine in its own way, but I feel like it almost ends up distracting me from the good sound somehow. It's totally anomalous and definitely a me problem, but I won't deny Meru the love it deserves anymore. A well-deserving member of the top 10 list. Number 7, Suicide Parade. Oh, it makes sense that this was made by Yuri Cannon. Fast, wordy lyrics with a percussion that hits you like rapid-fire gunshots? Absolutely Yuri Cannon. My appreciation for Suicide Parade is all for its vibes. Lyrics this dense can be a fun challenge to decipher, but the song's just too catchy. I end up losing myself in the rhythm and melody each time they start up a chorus. And maybe eventually I'll get tired of preaching it, but Kaito is still the best Vocaloid to join Nightcord. His vocals underlying each of the gang gives the song so much dimension. People who bitch about the tuning is bad for this game baffle me, because they're clearly not paying attention. Number 6. Nail-san. I personally prefer the translated title of Miss Naility over the options listed on the wiki. I feel it just sounds more natural, but I'll stick with the more literal title of Nail-san for this discussion on Shimon's commission song. I also will use a 3D MV if one's available, but the 2D MV is just so much better this time. Look at this animation. Cool stuff. It feels a little bit like I'm floundering here. Talk about the song already, I hear you cry, but Nail-san is a tough song to discuss. Despite the nihilism-themed title, the song is overtly angry. It's aggressive, it's edgy, it's desperate, and the thing I like so much about it is how that sound comes through so fully with the instrumentation. It's going to sound hokey of me, but Nail-san is a song best experienced for yourself. A striking out of emotion that you can only feel and hear properly by giving it a listen. Number 5. Envy Baby. Of Kanaria's mega hits across the Vocaloid landscape, Envy Baby is one I never understood the hype for. Perhaps I just hadn't found any good covers of it before now. It's the perfect mix of Kanade and Mifuyu's more reserved performances and Ena and Mizuki's power. They all come together to really convey the sort of deranged demeanor of the Harlequin character we see in the official art, bouncing you back and forth from their soft to loud performances alongside the music that bounces you along with its incredibly catchy melody. Finally, I get the hype. I love how often this happens with Project Sekai. Number 4. Shadow Shadow. Shadow Shadow's MV is pretty disappointing in my eyes, but that can't stop how much I still enjoy this song. Azari's drums bounce in a way that almost forces you to bop along with it, like we see the kids do in the performance. And what a performance it is! While the dancing leaves something to be desired, the vocals rock my world. The harmonies are dissonant in a way that keeps you on edge throughout the choruses. While I generally prefer male covers of Shadow Shadow, it's hard to ask for more from our Nightcord bunch here. Number 3. Slow Downer. It took me a while to really get into Slow Downer. Made by Rakuro, Slow Downer was just a little too grungy for my liking. It felt metallic, clinical but in a dirty way, which just isn't really my usual vibe for music. But the more I heard the song, the more I found myself appreciating that grunge. The emotion on display is excellent, even if it's not pretty. Yeah, I can't dance to it all that easily, but I still find myself resonating with Slow Downer. I fell in love with the weird sound of the guitar, the long beats awaiting the first instrumentation, and especially my favorite part, Mizuki's final line in the song. It just hits you like a brick. Number 2. Embellish. Onuma Parsley's commission for Mizuki made waves across the fandom as we finally got to see Mizuki happy and open with their friends. For me, it made waves because Embellish is like the anti-slow downer. These chill vibes building to the powerful conclusion of the song are so up my alley. I especially like the accents of the male vocalist, I'm assuming it's Onuma, but I don't know, leading us into and out of the song. The whole thing makes you feel weightless, like you're floating every time you listen to it. I just want this to lull me to sleep every night. It's just so good. Honorable mention. Now, I like to have honorable mentions before we get to number 1 as a way to celebrate other elements of Project Sekai and the Vocaloid sphere. And this year, I want to look to Project Voltage for the honorable mentions. Miku's big collab with Pokemon rocked my world alongside the rest of the universe, and I think it'd be fun to list out 5 songs from the collab I'd like to see make their way into Project Sekai. And first up on the list is Kairiki Bear's oh boy, this is a tough one for me to say. And first up on the list is Kairiki Bear's Melomaloid. The toxic love of fairy types is such a great angle for Kairiki Bear to do. It's fun and catchy, and I appreciate that it doesn't just feel like it was just made for the collab. It sounds like something Kairiki would have just made regardless of the Pokemon tie-in, resulting in such a perfect execution of the vibes. These songs probably would not get covers if they were to be put into the game, which would be swell, but if we were to get a cover, I'd want Nightcord to handle Melomaloid. Come on, you can't deny how perfect it would be. I don't even need to explain this one. Number 1. Ikaru. We almost made it through a whole Nightcord top 10 without a somber tearjerker, but Mizuno Atsu made sure to remedy that. Ikaru is beautiful, at the same time small and loud, nervous and hopeful. The lyric distribution across Mizuki, Meiko, and Kanade is spot on, and are bolstered by these 3's emotional performances, making sure you take the whole thing seriously. I've got quite the sad top 10 for Nightcord this year. Multiple songs about taking a life, whether oneself or another, and a general angst across the list, but it's the song about wanting to still live, to keep going, and to be hopeful about the future that tugged at my ears and heartstrings the most. Ikaru gets first place not only for bringing me a sense of hope, but for doing so in an excellently rendered way. It was fun discussing the depressive themes of Nightcord 25, but now it's time to shift gears to one of the generally happier teams on the list, Leonid. Leonid are always the wild card for me. Sometimes I can't get enough of them, sometimes I struggle to find anything to say about them. I'm always rooting for the band though. There's always diamonds to find with their songs, so let's get digging. Number 10. Rocket Cider. I recently figured out how much I like Twiins, so get excited to see him show up a couple of times on this video. And I'm surprised we haven't actually seen Leonid with him before now. They're a perfect match, with the synth rock flavors of space slotting right into the band's aesthetic. Rocket Cider is such a great fit for Leonid too, being a little melancholic but ultimately upbeat with a heavy emphasis on friendship and togetherness. It echoes their main story so well, I'm blown away it took 5 years for them to get to cover it. Number 9. Purpose. Doriko's Purpose is a lot brighter and bouncy than I would usually go with for Shio. Her cool, standoffish demeanor lends itself a bit more to the rock-flavored songs like how we saw with Voices. However, Purpose fits right in with most of Leonid's catalog. Friendly and helpful. It almost sounds more like a Saki or Honami commission, and I think that's interesting, because it's like Purpose is letting us hear how the friendship has really been mended. Yeah, Shio is still a cool loner, but she's also really connected with her bandmates, and we can see that influence in her commission song here, which I think is really nice. Number 8. Transparent Palette. If my memory serves correctly, Honami was the last character to receive her 5th commission song, having to wait even after some had received their 6th to finally get Transparent Palette. And I feel like it resulted in Aquera being sort of set up to fail in a way. It seems like the overwhelming response to Transparent Palette after the long wait time was... Is that it? Because, yeah, it is... nothing special, but some time has passed now, and I hope we can all forget that initial feeling of being let down, to recognize that despite the fact Transparent Palette wasn't some big hurrah to cap off the 5th commissions, it is still a really cute song. A fun, happy romp about how life can't be that bad when we get to eat apple pie sometimes. Featuring an adorable art style for the MV and some really excellent harmonies in the chorus. I think this song deserves just a little bit more love, and I'm here to lead that charge. Number 7. Tengaku. Made by Yu, Tengaku is an absolute staple in the Vocaloid world, one of the pillars of its history, which makes for some huge shoes to fill for the band, and I think they've done a pretty good job here, but also I think it being only at number 7 on my list shows that it didn't blow me away. Tengaku is really angry, and I think the covers that lean into that power and emotion are the ones that I find the most successful, and this cover doesn't quite have enough of that. And I'll be honest, the reason Tengaku made the list is Shio's cover. I really like Ichika, and it's weird because she can provide a real power in her vocals. I don't know why she's so reserved here, but Shio is bringing that power. I know they don't do 2-person songs anymore for Project Sekai, but I kinda wish this was like Shio's dramaturgy. There's lots of songs that are just Ichika and Miku, and I wish this was just Shio and Rin. Number 6. Still We Never Stop Singing. Made by Aoki Go, this song is light and easy to listen to. It's got a good beat and fun melody that has me finding my shoulders bopping along to the music. The song is swell, it's why it's made it onto my list, but I want to talk about the different tarot cards the kids are listed as in the music video. Len is the star, which represents hope, renewal, and inspiration. Fitting, as the Vocaloids have played an integral role in the band wanting to form in the first place and reconnecting at the start of the game. Shio, as Justice, represents balance and truth, which seems to be leaning into how often Shio acts as teacher for the others, telling them where they can improve. Honami, the Empress, represents creativity and a nurturing femininity, and Saki, as Temperance, symbolizes balance and finding harmony in life, both of which seem pretty obvious choices. And finally, Ichika herself is the Magician, which represents the ability to turn ideas into reality, telling us that Ichika is the leader for a reason, that it was her drive to reconnect with her friends that has helped them get to where they are today. But you know, let me know if you have any other interpretations. Number 5. Kaisei. Similar to Neyu to Lien, I've recently figured out how much I like Orange Star too, so this won't be his only song on my list today, and I feel like I've been doing a flimsy job of discussing Leonid today. Each entry has been more about me talking about the circumstances of the song, rather than the song itself. I think it's because the quality feels pretty obvious for the band this year. Very, this is good, yeah, we know, but I actually have something to say for Kaisei, and it's that it took me a long time to really come around to it. The soaring vocals, punchy percussion, and Mako going sicko mode on the guitar were clear from the start. The thing that kept getting in my way was the high-pitched wandering in the second half. It is, in my opinion, the barrier for entry for Orange Star. I, in general, don't like high-pitched singing, and it's something he uses a lot. But all the other good elements tore me down bit by bit and have come to outweigh the slightly out of my comfort zone pitch. Bonus thing, I like how clearly you can see Ichika changing her grip to play the different chords here. Number 4. Odorianse. Literally, as I'm writing the script, I'm figuring out how much I seem to like Yuri Cannon songs too. We saw it earlier with Suicide Parade, but their music is just electric. A BPM that pulls you along without being too fast. The instruments all work together seamlessly to create the musical version of Running. And of course the bandmates are killing it with the vocals. The girls all sound great together, and my favoritism for Kaito should quite honestly be obvious by now. Put him in a song and there's a 35% chance I think this only makes it better. The key change in the final chorus also rocks my world, matching the hyper-colorful decorations the kids find themselves in. It's the perfect way to build up to a climax for a song that barely gives you time to breathe throughout. Number 3. Satori. That's how I always read it. When the movie songs first dropped, I wasn't particularly interested in any of them aside from Nightcord's. I think all of them being at least partially produced by Deco, and them all being released within a few days of each other means I think they didn't get the chance to leave much impact outside of initial thoughts. As time has passed, though, I've started to come around to more of these movie songs. It's the chorus to Story that finally brought me around. I can hear Saki so clearly, and she's blowing me away. Also, I hadn't watched the MV before right now, getting footage for this video. This rules. The production is off the charts, and I have to assume these are the kids they save in the movie. Calling it now, Project Sekai 2 is gonna feature them making their own band, and I'm proud of Leonid because they've done it. They're pro. They have fans. Goddamn, I'm gonna cry. Number 2. Aoku Kakero. Back to the humble beginnings of so many Miku and Ichika duets. Aoku Kakero stands like a pillar in my eyes. It feels like it's always been here. Earth's first song. Probably just because it was part of the release campaign for the game, but I just can't shake this timeless feeling it has. And while it can be kinda easy to clown on the oops, all Miku and Ichika duets of the game's starting months, I can't really find myself mad at any of them. Yeah, I like the other bandmates too, but these two just sound great together. Perhaps best seen here. Their voices harmonize in a way that it's like Marcy had always intended these two to perform it. Quite frankly, I'm flabbergasted there still isn't an MV for this song, now counting the April Fool's Day version, of course. I think it's time to show a little respect for the game's elders. Honorable mention. I feel like Leonid have the widest pool of options to pick from the Project Voltage catalog. An argument could be made for most of the songs made for Project Voltage, but I'm gonna go hard mode and choose Cosmo P's Battle. At 220 BPM paired with Cosmo always leaning into the boons of a voice bank and making incredibly fast-paced lyrics that only Miku could sing easily, the girls in the band would have their work cut out for them. However, they're no strangers to high BPMs, and Miku could always be there to help with the really hard parts, and Battle offers the opportunity for some really lovely harmonies with the girls. I especially think it'd be fun to split up the band so half are playing hero Miku and half act as rival Miku. Number 1. Henceforth. I told you we'd be seeing more of Orange Star, and Henceforth is actually the song that got me hooked on his music in the first place. While I must admit this isn't my favorite version of Henceforth, the band still absolutely knocks it out of the park. When I ranked its 3D MV last year, I described Henceforth as the most run-to-able song I've ever heard, and it's that energy that really got me so hooked on the song. It feels impossible to click away in the middle of the song. Having to pause the music feels like a sin, and while the trademark high vocals do return, I feel they're a bit more tempered here. It probably helps that the high vocals are during the Moikai lyrics rather than just ah, like how we saw in Keisai. I didn't prepare myself to read that sentence out loud. It gives the vocals a chance to dance for a moment, which plays perfectly with that mighty drum beat to make henceforth the earworm I just can't shake. Following up the band is Saki's big bro with Wonderlands Showtime. Being the quirky bunch means their catalog of songs tend towards a more off-the-wall flavor, and this year especially I find my top 10 for the Circus Kids to be nutty. The usual slower song to give us a breather somewhere simply does not exist this time. Wonderlands is going full chaos mode for this top 10. Number 10. Your adventure log has vanished. Fun fact, every Wonderful Opportunity song in Project Sekai has been sung by Wonderland Showtime, and I think your adventure log is the thing that set the trend that would be perfected later down the line. The in-game version jumps over all the acting Tsukasa, Emu, and the Kagamines do throughout the song. Listen to the full thing and you'll see tons of the staples we've come to expect out of Wonderlands' songs. A fast-paced performance mixing dialogue and singing to truly give them their on-stage flavor. I think above all else, this set the standard for Wonderland Showtime performances to come. Number 9. Alien Alien. I think Alien Alien was a lot of our introductions to Nayuta, with it appearing in the Project Diva games being the cause for that. It's certainly how I first knew Nayuta's unique approach to vocals and cool rock sound that made Alien Alien truly stand out from the crowd. And the Wonderlands girls join Miku to a lovely effect. I'll be honest, they all do sort of blend together throughout most of the song. Not a bad thing, just not a cover that feels very unique from its original. I don't mind that though, to be frank. I feel like messing with the vocals too much would have just sounded weird. Alien Alien is hard to improve upon, and I'm glad to see that they didn't mess it up here. Bonus thing, I love that it's Robo Nene clapping along in the music video. Number 8. Planet Loop. You thought we were done talking about Nayuta? You fool! And I really love that the boys plus Len get to play for this one. While the girls do a great job of matching Nayutali's original tuning for Miku, I think the boys do a great job of getting the right feeling just as well. Tsukasa especially has a voice that's just perfect for this. The way he sings the higher notes hits exactly right. Planet Loop is a more low-key song than Alien Alien, and I think that allows the performers a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more wiggle room, more of an opportunity to make the song theirs. You can't improve on Alien Alien, but there's a million ways one could approach Planet Loop, and I'm delighted by this version that we get to have. Number 7. This silly wonderful world exists for me. There's quite a bit of naughty language in this one. Quite frankly, I think NK may have the record for making a song with the most swears in Project Sekai so far. And I think it's easy to let yourself get tricked into considering This Silly World to be a more downtrodden or depressing song. Classic Wonderlands gets a fast-paced song about how sad the world is stuff, but it's actually pretty hopeful though, and maybe the kids' energetic performances are helping with that, but I can't help but to hear about how this is a fucked up world, yet all there is to do is be merry. My favorite part is definitely where Tsukasa, Nene, and Meiko all sing together in the chorus. I do hope we get an alt version with Tsukasa and Nene, I think it'd be sick. Number 6. Bariki no Dance. This song is challenging to approach. Hinata Electric Works' lyrics are complex, featuring a lot of scriptures that don't translate very well, making them difficult to understand even when just reading them, let alone alongside the frantic pace of them being sung, leaving me feeling like Edward when he opens the big door, and so I find myself just giving up on understanding Bariki no Dance, especially with Wonderlands' vocals being so good, my brain just goes brr. Each of the fella-specific versions are swell on their own, but I feel all three working together is what has Bariki no Dance hit so hard. There's a punchiness to it that you just can't get with one vocalist. The community doesn't always love line distribution, and I can have my qualms with it too, but I simply can't find anything to complain about here. Number 5. Hitomania. I had not heard of Haraguchi Sasuke's Hitomania, translated to Maniac, before it made its way to Project Sekai. So, I was not prepared to get jump scared by the song starting with Tsukasa yelling full volume. Which, in turn, did not prepare me for the song to have the circus bunch playing out the thoughts of a total psychopath, fantasizing about how much they want to maim people, but somehow in a way that feels justified. I think the vibes of the song are best exemplified by the lines, "I wanna get high, get high, get high." It's the sort of variety I love about Wonderlands. Their songs are either a goofy carnival or ha ha ha, I'm in danger. Number 4. Eyelid. I wanted to be really diligent on listing who produces each song on my list this year, and I'm worried because I don't know how to pronounce Nalut. Nalut? People are gonna make fun of me again. Well, to distract from that, let's talk about how Rui's long wait for a 5th focus song was much more successful than Hanami's was when we talked about her earlier. Eyelid hit the screen in immediate success, and it's easy to see why. Eyelid is incredibly catchy, with a funky instrumentation accompanying clear, soaring vocal. Alongside a spiffy 3D MV and starring one of the game's most popular characters, of course we all like this. The one thing keeping Eyelid from going higher on my list really is Luca. I think people bitch about the tuning too much in this community, but Luca is so high-pitched here. She is ruining the song with her piercing vocals overshadowing all of the kids' good work. An alt version would fix that problem, but I do wish we'd just stop trying to make Luca sing out of her range like this. It's been an issue for like years now. Just use Rin more often. Number 3. Liar Dancer. This is the part of the video where I have to make sure I actually talk about the song and not just the music video. If you've seen me rank the 3D MVs, you'll know I like this one quite a lot, but this isn't the Twiins talks about her crush on Kaito hours, so let's focus on the actual song Maserata has made. I really like how, despite the high BPM, the verses hold back on that energy, building up nicely to the explosion that is the choruses. But my favorite has to be the call and response of Liar in said chorus. Not only is it the most fun part of the music video, seeing the gang form their lines and do their poses, especially when Emu does her call and has to run to the front of the stage to get in place, super cute, but it's also the part of the song that sticks in your ears the most. I hear this when I'm stuck at work, when I go to sleep. Liar Dancer's chorus haunts me in the best way. Number 2. Murder Case at the Mansion of Antique Books, another title that's too fucking long for my format here. This is one that, after I finished last year's top 10, I was like, no, I gotta wait a year to talk about this one now! Which, it's kinda funny, a whole year to figure out a smart way to discuss Teniwoa's Murder Case at the Mansion, and I can't find a single way to explain how good it is in a clever way. The best I've got is that the vocals sound like ghosts. That thing where their vocals go up and down in the chorus. It's giving me all the good things I like about the best Scooby-Doo theme songs, and don't get it twisted, that's incredibly high praise. Not to mention the guitar getting absolutely nasty in the background, this murder mystery rocks and makes it incredibly easy to listen to on repeat. Honorable mention! I've mentioned that all of Wonderful Opportunity's songs that make it to Project Sekai are given to Wonderland Showtime, and I don't want to pigeonhole her options. I think any of the teams could do a great job with her music. But with that being said, Wonderful Opportunity's Go Bidoof group is so perfect for Wonderlands. Charming, funny, and incredibly unserious. It's got that dialogue-heavy flavor to it that the circus kids do so well. It's a perfect fit, no matter which way you look at it. Number 1. Go Forth. This is a Nene focus song, produced by the very talented Sekikomi Gohan, and you can tell it's a Nene song because Sekikomi has gone out of their way to make this a true production for our actress. Not dialogue-heavy theatrical like how we get with Wonderful Opportunity songs, but theatrical in a musical theater sort of way. It's both powerful and beautiful, quiet and loud. And I am here for one man and one man only. Tsukasa's ability to yell in bass is finally utilized. This hits me in the chest like a freight train, and then they follow it up with Emu and like... Kinohina is doing a great job singing this, as are the full cast here, but Hirose Daisuke's vocals are what makes this thunder that shakes the stage feel so powerful. I desperately wish we'll get an alt version of just him, or maybe even a duet with him and Nene, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But even with the Sekai version, the song soars, and the ending with the kids chanting Yuke is what had Wonderlands skyrocket above Nightcord and Leonid for this list. We're really playing with the big dogs now. It was swell to talk about Wonderlands, but now it's time to shift gears into Vivid Bad Squad. The squad have consistently hovered in my favorites range for the groups. A part of me wonders if I'll ever get tired of these kids knocking out bangers, but I certainly haven't yet, so let's not dilly-dally and get to the top 10. Number 10. Beyond the Way. It took me a while to get behind Beyond the Way. It sort of felt like Giga had just copied his own homework with Ready Steady. It all just sort of felt like more of the same, without that really cool tuning Miku had gotten with Ready Steady. As time has passed though, I've come to stop comparing Beyond the Way to its big brother, and have come to enjoy it for the unique song it is. And well, it still does end up feeling like Ready Steady too, but luckily being the sequel to a banger does mean this one is pretty cool too. If the worst thing I have to say about a song is some of the dancing in the MV looks kinda dumb, then you know it's a pretty dang good one. Number 9, Rad Dogs. I can't believe I haven't had Rad Dogs on one of these lists yet. I had to double check, like, really? The Bad Dog song? It's Toya's first focus song and is, in my opinion, the only one in the whole game that actually plays with the interesting character element of Toya coming from a classical background. Maybe they just need to get Hachio GP to make him another focus song. Something I really enjoy with Rad Dogs is how hands-off the Vivids are here. They lead the boys into the chorus and that's sort of it. It does a good job of emphasizing the fellas, especially Toya since this is his song, and is something that we don't really see too often, with the only other example I can think of being Hollow. Another Toya song, funnily enough. It makes it all feel grand, and like there was real thought put behind the line distribution. Number 8, Transmitting Temperature. This is another Toya song, this time by Sasanomaly. This one is also supposed to have a 2D MV. As of writing this though, the music video has been delayed due to the art not matching the in-game outfits properly. So either you'll get that fixed version, or I'll be picking cards to go with the song. Which I really like doing that anyway, so I don't mind. This feels less character-rich than Rad Dogs did, but also was like, just more fun. Sasanomaly is great at making low BPM songs still have an energy to them. They bounce and pull you forward without making you feel rushed as they do so. I could listen to this all day without getting tired of it. The music video has come out. It is fine. Nothing all that special. This part is unscripted because it took me forever to record this fucking audio. But yeah, the MV is swell too. Like, you know, the 10. Number 7, Kosenka. Oh no! This is another producer whose name I've only ever read, not heard. Guano? Giuano? I'm gonna go Guano. It sounds wrong though. It's how I always read it. Fuck! Guano has made some of my favorite songs in the game so far, so it's no surprise their powerhouse Voice of the Beam for Kohane immediately found its way onto my top 10 list again. The reserved verses and catchy instrumentations are a lot of fun, but let's be honest, the star of the show are the choruses, where the kids all belt out their lyrics. It's just like, it rises, man. It ascends without becoming a higher pitch. I don't get it. It's witchcraft and magic, and I'm so here for it. This is the kind of song that proves Kohane's the team leader for a reason. Number 6, Yankee Boy, Yankee Girl. I was already a fan of Toma's Yankee Boy, Yankee Girl before it made its way into Project Sekai, so its inclusion was really exciting. Unfortunately, I think the music video kind of blows. That'll have to be a discussion that waits for my next 3D MV ranking video though. Luckily, the actual song still slaps, which is the important part. All the good elements to Yankee Boy, Yankee Girl can still be found. An edge to the vocals, a good power as the song intensifies. My favorite part is still the cool guitar that leads us into the first verse though. I can't say every song I was excited for ended up good enough to get on one of these lists, so I'm glad this one stuck the landing. Number 5, False Human number 40. Shimon's dark yet catchy themes return for the squad's cover of False Human. Everyone's vocals are so pretty and clear, creating a stark contrast with the grungy, dirty sound of the music accompanying them. Whether or not I feel this contrast works really does depend on the day. Some days I think it's really fresh, and others I wish the kids were all growling more. One thing that's for certain is the junkie chant near the end hits every time. I don't want a whole song that sounds like that. That would be crazy, but it's like the rest of the song is all building up to this one moment, making it feel impossible to skip right to it. Gotta eat dinner before you have dessert, you know? Number 4, Shama. I was introduced to No Fruit Shama while making this video, and it sent me down a rabbit hole of trying to find a cover that slaps as hard as Vivid Bad Squad's, that actually features the whole song. Maybe I'll just be stuck waiting for a full version from our squad, but I'm willing to wait for it because let's be honest, this is so peak! The hook absolutely dances! It feels impossible to stay still while listening to this, and the harmonies are going harder than they ever have before. It's nice to see that Len also gets to play without feeling shoehorned in. Sometimes the Vocaloids feel like an afterthought. Len works so well here, I almost forgot he's one of 6 voice banks they could have chosen from. There is no great Vivid Bad Squad Shama cover without him. Number 3. Fire Dance. Holy music video, Batman! I feel like I'm being attacked! Jesus Christ! Stop! Chill out! I already talked about how I steadily came around to the movie songs earlier. No need to rehash the same story for Deco and Giga's Fire Dance. Honestly, a part of me wonders how I wasn't invested in this at first. It's like, oops, all catchy hooks. It's also a shame that the in-game version doesn't include the much more impressive rap section of the second verse, but across the board, the overwhelming badassery of Fire Dance is clear as day. If I had to fight somebody, I listened to this on the drive over. Number 2. One Sheep. The thing I always pay attention to in One Sheep is the track. Obviously the squad knocked the vocals out of the park, and the lyrics themselves have a cool sense of rising during the chorus, but the thing that grabs me so much is how repetitive the music is behind those vocals. A good example is the near immediate reuse of the "Haters Gonna Hate" that starts the song, but the big example is the one sample of a whistle and cheering that gets used like 12 times during the song. I like the repetition of it. It makes the same parts of my brain activate as when you succeed an excellent attack in Paper Mario. It builds the hype without derailing everything else, and I've gotta give bonus points to any song that can make Cutie Pie Kohane come off as hardened. This is Peg's only song in Project Sekai, but I'd love to see more from them. Honorable mention. The obvious choice would be to pick Giga's song for the Vivid Bad Squad X Project Voltage crossover, since he's basically their producer, but I'm actually gonna pick Hachioji P's Party Rock Eternity. Not only is the idea of the squad cosplaying as rocket grunts just very fun, but I think the mix of cute and edgy is just perfect for our Vivids and Rad Dogs. All of the whoa-oh-ohs in the song would also benefit by having a whole team of kids singing them too, so I think this is a win-win. Number 1. Surges. I told you I've gotten into Orange Star lately. It's really interesting how I've both mentioned Luca's too high tuning and how Orange Star tends to lean towards higher pitches, and yet Surges dodges these issues like Neo in the Matrix. I think it helps that Luca predominantly plays the role of harmony, similar to Len's good usage in Shama earlier, and overall it's just a lower register song for Orange Star. The part that makes me go sicko mode is the second verse, where the kids start singing over each other just to still land on the same lyrics. This does more to convey the two teams coming together to be stronger as one, better than anything Leonid's rekindled friendship has come close to doing. I can feel the togetherness here. And finally, we make it to the top of the top with More Jump. It really is amazing, seeing me go from I just don't like idol music that much to becoming a total More Jump fan over the years. Praising the idol's overall quality is like my favorite pastime for these sorts of videos, which means we're in for a high quality treat as we look to the final top 10 of the day. Number 10. Cat food. I have hated cat food for years. I finally buy my first Vocaloid game, Project Diva F, and the very first song is this. It's a weird first choice for the list, significantly more rock than most of Miku's lineup for the game, putting her in a goofy outfit, and in general Project Diva's insistence on clinging to cat food continually confounded me, as no one else in the community ever seemed to care. No shade to Doriko, it's just this title hasn't joined the pantheon of greats that should have started the game off instead. I don't see any popular covers for cat food crop up, no fan art for this Miku design. For comparison, the next Project Diva game starts you off with Melt, and it all just made me resent it, as it left such a meh first impression for the game. So to see More Jump breathe new life into cat food, to the point I actively enjoy it now, is such a feat that it's obvious why it made it onto my list. Number 9. If. This is another one I can't believe hasn't been on a top 10 list of mine before. I keep double checking like, no, that can't be right. Yuri Cannon put aside their usually more aggressive sound for Haruka's focus song here, and made a beautiful, yet still nicely energetic piece. This still reigns as the Haruka song in my eyes. Elegant and strong, just like the version of her that Minori became so enamored with in the first place. The big high note near the end is especially Chef's Kiss. Number 8. Override. I, and everyone else on planet Earth, have sung the praises of this MV up and down. Girls panic as they experience every level of technical issue possible is a super fun way to capture this frantic energy of the song. But Override is such a bop that it's almost a shame we didn't get to see the girls' full performance for it. Bouncy, fun, and light despite the pretty serious lyrics is a testament to Yoshida Yasei's skills as a musician. It's easy to see how Override took the internet by storm. Not for the cute shenanigans in the MV, but because the song is just so fun. Number 7. 8.32. Finally, we get a Star Luna song on the list. This is some peak anime opening vibes. Everything about this evokes such imagery. I'm blown away this didn't get an MV of some kind. I eagerly look forward to one releasing eventually. I feel like there's some great ways to play with the sinking but in a good way sound the song has. Sinking into the air. Yeah, this one's so hard to talk about because the excellent melody kicks in and I just end up losing myself in the music. How am I supposed to be smart and analytical when my heart's going at 110 beats per minute? It's just so good! Monkey brain go, that one nice I like! Number 6. 11th. Police Piccadilly was in charge of Irie's 6th focus song, and it's a fun diversion from her usual sound. Irie's songs tend to be kinda bouncy and fiery, much like how she is, but it's really nice to let her have a more slow-paced, elegant song in her repertoire too, especially if it's gonna be this pretty. It's so hopeful. All of the art has a very skyward aesthetic to it, which fits 11th's sound to a T. When you're feeling bad, 11th can help cheer you back up. All wrapped up in an MV that's a little simple, but has some very cute outfits and stunning backgrounds. Number 5. Dame Ningenda. Dame Ningenda translates to I'm a loser, and it's hard to see any of our idols as losers. They're all incredibly well respected and already successful in their fields. Even Minori has garnered a fanbase and has finally made her dream of becoming an idol a reality. And yet, we get to see how normal these girls truly are. They squabble, they spill their drinks, they get up late, they screw up on stream. I think it's nice to remember that idols, celebrities, YouTubers, they're people too. On top of the song's good message is a super catchy track. Ooh, wow, this is a tough name for me to read. Usushi Oshishu has made one of the funnest hooks in the game with the It's fun to play, it's fun to listen to, it's a perfect inclusion for our list. Number 4. Magical Girl and Chocolate. My favorite producer is Pinocchio P. One of my favorite songs from him is Magical Girl and Chocolate. A million years ago, I made a video about songs I want in the game, and the first one I wrote down was, I want More Jump to cover Magical Girl and Chocolate. Oh, is this what the kids mean when they say stay winning? I'm a bit bummed it didn't drop with an MV. I'll eagerly await one as we get cute magical girl outfits for the idols. And the harmonies are so good. Shizuku and Miku during the chorus are especially stellar. It's kind of everything I could have asked for. And it's only number 4 on our list. More Jump are just cracked this year. Number 3. If Your Sky Were to Cry. It's quite the tone shift we're making here. Yuzi's song for Shizuku's 6th focus event isn't quite as heart-pounding as Magical Girl and Chocolate, but that doesn't mean it doesn't do a laser targeting straight to your heart. The full song is a whopping 4 minutes, but it's totally worth your time to give it a listen. The way it builds to the finale is peak across the board, and that means you get to spend all that time watching the MV with its incredible art. This art is beautiful, and stunning, and gorgeous. I could look at this all day. Fun fact, it's the same artist who worked on the really lovely 2D version of Late Blooming Cherry Blossoms. If Your Sky Were to Cry is simply beautiful, all the way around, from the sound to the lyrics to the music video. Number 2. Teammate. Teammate is an older song relative to most of More Jump's list, and I think the thing is, I didn't want to let myself play favorites before. Oh, it's not fair. I like Honeyworks so much, it's not fair to score Teammate so high. I'm letting the Honeyworks name trick me into liking Teammate so much. No, self. Teammate just fucking rules, and you know what it is that really slaps the shit out of me? It's the drums. The thing I like so much about Honeyworks is how uplifting their songs are, and it's that steadfast percussion paired with the melody of the lyrics that make me think, maybe things aren't so bad after all. I'm glad I finally come around to giving Teammate the recognition it deserves, with a well-placed second on my list this year. Honorable mention! Am I just giving More Jump Eon Ticket as my Project Voltage collab idea because Eon Ticket is my favorite Project Voltage song? Well, yes, but no. Of course I would want my fave in the game, but also I think Eon Ticket is a perfect match for our idols. It's fun and bright. They'd do great with this. I'd also want to keep both Miku and Kaito, so unless they want to pull a Stainbusters and have all 6 sing together, which I wouldn't mind, I think I'd have it become a quartet, and basically any combination of the girls would totally work here. My personal pick would be Shizuku and Haruka to roll with the very blue color theme the song already has, but no matter what, this one would be so fun. Number 1. Mawaru Sora Usagi. You fool! I told you I've become a fan of Orange Star! Mawaru Sora Usagi translates to Sky Passing Around Moon Rabbit, which is incredibly clunky and should be translated to like Moon Rabbit Crossing the Sky or something, but whatever. I'll just struggle my way through the Japanese title instead. It's such a simple song. Just a piano accompanying the 3 vocalists. But it's so good! That simplicity almost hides the power behind these vocals. How much energy can be felt during the chorus. I've said it over and over this year, how much I like uplifting songs. Happy songs. Funnily enough, Mawaru Sora Usagi sort of wanders between uplifting and melancholic. I feel like the lyrics leave a lot of interpretation up to the listener. Some days this feels like wallowing. Some days this feels like hope. And I love all that versatility in such a simple, easy-to-digest package. I hadn't listened to Mawaru Sora Usagi until I was listening to songs for this top 10, and it crash-landed so hard into my heart that I've been listening to it basically non-stop for the months it's taken to work on this video. If you've only got time for one song today, I suggest you make it this one. And there we go. If you want to know my most top 10 this year, that list would look like this. And I've already found myself thinking, I should have had that song. Oh, I should have had this song. So look forward to next year's list too. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you could give it a like and let me know what some of your favorite songs are right now. Thanks a million, and I'll see you next time. Special shout out to my $10 patrons, Hut Mutt Bud, Messiah Complex, James Piper, Ranger Soat, and Andrew. You're all amazing. Thank you a million. It took me a little longer than usual to make this video. I tend to try to get them out in March to April. And I was just really struggling to find the motivation to work on this one because I do see a lot fewer views for each one of these videos. So even though I'm still really passionate about Project Sekai, I'm getting the impression that fewer and fewer people care, and I was just struggling to find that energy. So I want to give a special shout out to one commenter. My fave color is green, so because they left a comment asking, they were like, "It's been a year. Where's the new top 10?" And it was really nice just knowing that somebody did care. That, you know, that someone was really looking forward to these yearly top 10 videos. So that really helped put a spring back into my step. So let that be a lesson to you, that leaving a comment, leaving a positive comment on your favorite YouTuber's videos can actually do a whole lot more than you might think. So thanks a million, special shout out to you, and goodbye!